a little cigarette,
Okay.
and then we'll natter. Right.
Do I sound alright from here?
Yeah,
I don't
you
need
do.
to move close or anything.
No, I think you were pretty good volume. I think we're all right where we are. All right, so it's Casual Times podcast. We've got Demloxx in the house. The cats are sleeping. It's 5:37 in the morning. Late night podcast. But yeah, here with the man himself, Demloxx, Blackpool, long time music scene participant.
Yeah, I can't even think how long. Like,
Blue Room was well active.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
It was a
different
regular
times.
watering hole and party place for a while. But unfortunately, obviously, times move on and different owners and finance and other things like that. But yeah, but there was many good memories in that place.
Oh yeah, and I mean, if they want to do an ale bar sort of thing, it's all right, isn't it? Better than it being closed, but it's not the same as it was.
Totally.
But maybe I'm just old.
No, I don't think you're old. I think you're still got the same brain. You're still wise to it, man. It's obviously different owners have different directions and stuff like that, and the different like status of the town's different, the climate and everything, and just the people and the nightlife. It's just all changing, and people are moving on, and there aren't so many vibrant independent club nights and stuff going on now as there were. Like, used to get various ones from like house and techno and old school to like obviously the drum and bass and the dubstep and like the grime and hip hop, and there was lots flying around in Blackpool.
Is there some going on like bootleg?
No, there are things going on. Obviously, new venues, new ventures, new promoters coming through and things like that. But not that I've seen. It's not as fluent, but things may change again.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, you've been around that scene for a long time, and really in Blackpool, like really central to Blackpool. You've spent a lot of time in town, sort of thing, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Like really in the thick of it there. So, which way do you reckon it's changed?
So when I first started in the nightlife scene, I was 16, and I wasn't actually doing any promoting or anything like that at this time, but I was in that environment, and I was working for a bar, and I was a glass collector at the time, and I was just sort of bubbling in the music, sort of touching bass on electronic stuff and DJing and things like that in my own time. And the setup in this venue was pretty good for that day and age and that time and stuff like that. And it was a nice
what
little
sort of
cozy
setup are we talking? I bet can you list the tech detail like the...
So when I was 16, it was like the CDJ 800s had just come out, and they were like the bigger platter, and it was like a new thing. And he had a really good mixer. He had Alan Heath's Zone mixer, so that was a blessing to have that there. And then obviously he had Technics as well. And then it was all flush in a nice DJ box and monitors, perfect level and everything like that. Good space, raised up in the corner. So yeah, what got me more into the sort of DJing side in the nightlife area was Jules, the owner, sort of gave me permission. We were chatting one day, and he knew about my hobbies, and he was like, have a blast,
Nice.
And then one time I had to fill in for somebody, and it kind of just kicked in from there. But the stuff that I was into wasn't really what was popping in the club, so obviously I had to kind of find ways of crossing over. But
you got to put just a little bit in there.
Yeah, that first got me into a club very early gig as well, and I was really in the deep end because it was unexperienced. I was only just learning to mix and things like that out at home, so it was never done in front of an audience either, especially like a club of older people, because obviously I was only like 16.
Yeah, shit.
So
Where was it?
it was Liquid Lounge. It was Jenks,
right,
Topping Street. And yeah, so that was the venue where it all sort of started, and many nights happened over the years, even going back to that venue, like years down the line and carrying on. We still had a good relationship with him there. But that's where it all kind of started for me. That was where the journey was, like, you know, progressed from. And then after that, it was trying to think. So I was there for 2 years, and I was started to get my own sort of night every now and again there. Right. Because obviously I had just covered for him. I wasn't like, oh, now you've got a residency or anything like that. I still was back on the glass collecting and all that grind. But any opportunity that came, I was always good because I was always there. So eventually gave us my own sort of night and things like that. So that was cool.
So what, were you in charge of like the different acts on? Or
no, I wasn't. I wasn't a promotions manager for the bar or anything like that. He ran all the, it was his ship and everything like that. But I just sort of come with the idea and said, I want to do this for a night. And he's like, yeah, totally, let's roll with it. Nice. He was cool. He was always open to new ideas and things like that. And
so the people in the club were what kind of age?
Well, they were all like 18 teens to 30 kind of that sort of demographic. But obviously, I was a lot younger at this point.
Yeah, and you're into like the new sound that maybe there.
Yeah,
you're like into the Chuck Berry.
I was like still experimenting with different sounds and things like that. Yeah. What changed my what opened me up to more sort of music was I worked with Jules for 2 years, and then I moved to Leeds when I was 18. And obviously moving from a town and only sort of picking up what you can and things like that, going to Leeds sort of opened me up to more cultures and more sounds, more parties, more just things that I'd never even experienced before. So that was great, like learning about like breaks and drum and bass and like grime and all styles of music that I'd never, like, I'd only heard like a few songs out of each genre, whereas here there was full dedicated nights and events with like serious lineups, and you're like, wow.
And people who are getting you into like the real detail of the music, I suppose, totally. And where it's come from and what it means and why it's breaks,
So that was cool. And then I moved back from Leeds back to Blackpool, and obviously having
going
I was like, right, cool. And then doing a night back at Liquid Lounge at Jenks. This is like fast forward in time a little bit. When I'd come back, I'd sort of got on my feet again. So doing various bits and pieces, and at that bar I met this other lad called Marshall, and we did a junk box event together. And well, in fact, we did a few events before that under a different name. Actually, it was Bunker. We did a few down in Liquid Lounge together. He approached me one night and he was like, yeah, I'd love to get involved. And I was like, cool, always welcoming new people, because obviously I didn't really, because he was from Milton Keynes, so he had he was well into his drum and bass, so he was bringing that sort of flavour to the night, which was cool, because that's another genre of music that's not really, that I knew of at that time, that was kind of popping.
Yeah, I mean now.
Yeah, obviously now, and down the line I'd met other promoters and things like that, and realised there was a scene of that already kind of going. But that's just different circles and different people. Yeah,
different sounds come out of different places, don't they? Because there's people out there just making beats, and they've got a community around them, and doing stuff, different sounds, like all over the UK, different stuff, like Bristol, all sorts of shit. There was loads of live music on when I went to Bristol.
There's always good sound.
They had like a flyer. It was like a leaflet, but it was more like a small magazine. and it was just all the events that were on for the next 6 months, and it was
that's-
huge, just tons of events
You
every
get
night.
that a lot in cities.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been and played in Bristol
Yeah.
a couple of times. My friend, a good DJ and promoter and that from back in the day, he moved down from Bristol up these ways. I met him, we linked parties. I think he's going under still the name Air Juice. Big up Tolga.
Big up.
Yeah. So yeah, he was down there and then came up here and then moved back down those ways, and then obviously invited me down a couple of times, so I got to
Nice.
experience the little area of nightlife in Bristol, and that was cool.
Yeah,
Like what he
man.
was doing and his sort of party, because he'd been
Yeah.
down there a little while before I went down, so he'd already got something popping.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
established.
yeah, it was
little
cool
scene.
vibes, like his night that he had going.
There's more opportunity for a scene to take hold
Yeah.
in places like that where there's regular attendance
Mm.
of nights, I think. Which is one of the things Blackpools struggle with a little, I think.
Yeah.
It's got a huge music scene, but not really a huge population, so there's not
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
volume.
It's one of them you kind of depend on, like the local scene to,
Yeah.
really show it, while you get different ends of students that drip in and out.
Yeah, but it's like,
Very
what is
small
the deal
numbers.
there? Yeah, it is. Like, what's the deal? Why is it not a...
I think it's because, back in the day when we did the events, we actually had to go into the colleges and physically, we weren't even at these places,
Yeah?
and go in with rucksacks full of flyers
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
bomb the colleges, like fully with flyers and
Yeah.
posters for like junk box or whatever events were going on. And we kind of got to know like circles but they would only stay for like 3 or 4 years, and then obviously a new lot of students would come, and
Yeah, and they'd get
it
a bit older.
happened where we had a great year, a great run of years actually, and then they all left and the local heads were still going, but the
Yeah.
numbers went from big heads to
Yeah.
like 30
very, very appreciative
30
heads.
hardcore heads in
yeah.
a club, and the owner's like,
Yeah.
this isn't financially viable, guys. Like,
Yeah, shit. It's hard though, man. It's a hard town.
but it's one of them. You have to kind of stay in and out, and what the colleges promote depends on what students they've got running.
Yeah.
Whoever's student counsellor or whatever that year, and we were blessed. Like when we sort of went in and first handed out leaflets, we got meeting with some cool lads from Manchester and other places that were into what we were doing, and they were like, perfect, like we've just got here, we want this kind of stuff, so they were always keen to come to the nights, which got
that's
things
good.
moving.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, which lasted for a few years, but people move on and things like that, and go back home, after the courses, because all the people that were into good stuff were coming from down south, or where they're just more of it going, they know what's going on.
Some of them might even go home over.
And when they come up here and they hear what's going on, it's just like, where's the nights at?
Yeah.
So like,
where's the nights that's not karaoke or fucking cabaret?
Oh mate, yeah, painful.
Who wants to go to cabaret?
Painful.
Only, I don't know. It's a weird place, isn't it, Blackpool?
But yeah, all the owners are just forced into those directions, and they kind of don't. And the DJs that play in them bars, a lot of them are into that kind of stuff, and it's like, because they're just bred and they just think that's what's popping.
Yeah.
I'll just do that because everyone knows every
it's
word
hot right
to
now.
this. Exactly. From every number one from the last sort
and
of
there's
decade.
room for that, that's perfectly valid.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
fine,
But I think there's a lot of that now, and if the club owner, if you're going into new territory, because obviously Blackpool's got your sections, like you've got like the local bars and things like that, and then you've got all your touristy area, and if you were ever to jump down there, they just wouldn't.
Yeah, just.
But that's where all the heads are coming in from everywhere. But unfortunately, the type of people that are coming in,
and they're wankered, and they just want to hear something they can shout to.
Exactly. It's just noise.
It's going to go. It's weird, man. Weird town. But all seaside towns are not doing so well, are they? I think.
Mm.
Like Morecambe's not doing so well. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a bit of regeneration going on.
Brighton's not really popping anymore.
No, is it not?
No.
I used to like Brighton. I went like 8 years ago or more. And it was pretty cool, the little shops and stuff. But I wasn't really there looking at the scene or anything. You know.
It's the day and age though as well. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff now that's viral. People are doing shows online.
Yeah.
And you know they can have like people constantly attending the event because more people do you know it never goes away, it's always there.
Yeah, there's
so
always that
the
stream.
upload could have been like from 2 years ago, but somebody could still watch the DJ and the vibe going on, do you know, and things like that.
Loads of stuff
like all
going
that
on,
boiler room stuff that's going on at the minute.
And stuff like KEXP as well in America. They do some sort of electronic stuff as well as instrumental. It is and it's a really difficult market for a musician. It's really difficult to see a way other than franchising to like film, TV, games, or because it's such a saturated market now that looks become a much bigger element than it used to be. Like it used to be if you went out and actually made an album and like somebody had given you a thing for it, like
physical.
And that'd be like if you actually did the thing, got a band together, went out, made an album, got it pressed, it might go somewhere, sort of thing. Whereas now, you make a song, and there's just thousands, millions of them.
Yeah.
And somehow you can break through that either by being really good and being heard by the right person, maybe.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it depends what you're aiming for. If you're aiming for chart number 1 pop music, then like well saturated. But if you're some like kid in Chicago that's like banging on his MPC who's making some footwork or some hip hop or some shit, then no, I don't think it's as hard, you know.
That's an interesting point, yeah.
Like especially if you like, I say hip hop, obviously that's huge, but say more like footwork or whatever. But it's not as big, do you know what I mean? And there's more sort of real people you can talk to that would be like more on a level with you to even just like communicate, and you can send and like get a reply back or whatever, do you know, of somebody because they're just on a level more rather than some high end Sony agent or whatever.
As well, don't they?
Hey?
Forums come into that as well, don't they? I think. Like Amos was saying that he's been on the hip hop forums for years, and it's just people swapping new releases back and forth, rating it. You know, that's plays. It's people listening to it who want to actually listen to it. You know.
Yeah, that's it. It's like it's in a dedicated place where people, it's like especially a forum, people are actually putting some sort of effort into the time to go to these places to talk and discuss and find new stuff. You know, so.
And they've often been there a while. There's rapport with everyone. Spreads the idea as well. Gets mentioned. You know. Gets it out there. But it is an interesting point that if the music you're making isn't massively mainstream, then the market is less saturated. That is true.
Yeah, I mean as well, there's so many genres of music out there. If you can really find what if you've got some sort of cool sound and you're like, oh, it's drifting towards some like Belgium techno or something, then there's going to be loads of dedicated labels to that you can pop to, you know. And I mean, obviously, all depends on your content, what you're sending across. I mean, there's got to be a level of, you know, a level in there. Do you know what I mean? You can't expect it's your first tune you've made out and you're like, right, I'm going to send it to.
No.
Then maybe you might not get a reply.
Yeah.
Or you might get some honest feedback, you know.
That'd be alright. I used to do those things, what was it, Cloud Killers?
Right, yeah,
where
okay.
Where you'd log in and they'd comment on your SoundCloud thing,
yeah,
give you like feedback and stuff, and then sort that around. I used to do that.
Yeah, I think unfortunately people use those sort of things just to generate plays and comments that weren't even meaningful really, because people were just writing anything just to build up the credits,
mostly
to get
just bigging up
a load of comments on their tunes. Like, I mean, fair enough, it can work to a degree where, you know, having a lot of activity on your track, you know, obviously it helps with, I don't know, like hidden algorithms and things like that. So there's lots of activity, because obviously this was an external thing. This was like a third party thing where your track was running, but obviously because it was plug-in activity, comments and things
plays.
happening on it, SoundCloud will probably pick it up and think, yeah, this, so it might, I don't know, featuring more people's streams that are following you or something like that, or searching or whatever, because it's trending quicker or something. I don't know. So
by the amount of 10 people listening
do you
to
know
it.
there are a lot of positives as well, because if that happens, then obviously on SoundCloud where your followers are, people are going to more likely hear it and then engage with it, and you'll get more of those people, because it's one of those, if you put up a tune and nobody engages with it, whatever platform or social network you're on, it just won't push it, because obviously they don't ever push it to your full following list or whatever. It just a percentage of it. More likely than not, it's things that or people, should I say, that engage with you are more likely to see it.
And the less that happens, the less anyone will see it.
Yeah, but obviously if there's lots of activity on something, then it might share it to more streams and things like that. So they possibly more likely to see it, and play it and listen to it. And
it was a funny one.
A good thing.
Old days on SoundCloud, I remember, like some people like actually getting in touch and listening, not getting like a lot of listens, but some people getting in touch and a bit of messaging and stuff. But it always seemed like there was like a layer of noise that was the amount of plays, the tracks that get just randomly featured in places.
Totally.
That you have to get past that.
It's a shame that as well that it's looked at by society, I guess, in that more plays, more views, more likely you're to look at it, and if it's only got one play, you're not going to give it the time of day. You're just going to think, it's like it's crazy. It's like endorphin, like madness, like overload. Like people just crave likes and things like that.
Feedback.
And they're more likely to engage with it. Like you speak to that young kids today, and they go to show you, I don't know, a video of some track on YouTube, and more likely than not, they're like, "Have you seen how many plays it's had? It's had like X amount of views straight up within the first 5 seconds." And it's like, that's obviously important to them for a level to even mention that, even though all I'm interested in is the content, the video, the music, or whatever they're going to show me, or the music. But that's because it's obviously moving with the age and the times, and if that's what people are.
So you think that it's just popular sounding things?
Yeah, it's mad.
It'd
be great to have them removed, all these likes and dislikes and things like that. Or maybe not likes and dislikes, but maybe just like plays and things like that, like play counts and stuff like that. So people can more look at a track and think, they can take it for face value rather than seeing like, 50,000 plays, click on it.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or not.
Yeah, they don't need another listen just now. Just see if you can find somebody who's not.
But if they all, but obviously not all music platforms display plays and things like that. A lot of the sites and things that are selling the music don't do those sorts of things, but it's more like the other platforms, the social ones as well, that you can engage on, like SoundCloud and things like that.
Yeah, they have this kind of user.
I heart this or whatever it is, and
the ratings thing's really difficult because I don't know, it just seems like a blockade to original music. But the people who want original music are going to go and seek it out, aren't they? Because it's not there in the mainstream for them. It's just getting in front of the audience or something. I don't know. Like you've done quite a lot of not promo stuff, but I don't know how you classify it for your musical, for Demloxx and stuff. Like that.
Okay. So like pictures and things that I've uploaded.
Yeah. And you've done like organising as well for nights and stuff, haven't you?
Oh yeah, like events and things like that. Yeah.
Did you put on a festival?
Yeah, a couple.
Which one was that?
Ones.
Not Tommy Fest, was it?
Yeah, I was in. Yeah? I didn't put that on. I was just involved with that festival, doing an area, doing a tent.
Oh, nice. So did you just choose a bunch of folk, like out of towners, or was it locals?
No, it was all local. It was all local DJs and things like that.
Nice.
It was just it was an interesting event and venture and things. It was all for a good cause.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there was. I brought another crew along to that who did another tent, and they were like streaming it as well.
Nice.
And they were like.
When was this?
What were they doing more? Long time ago.
Mate, that was streaming.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Underground sound system. With was the crew.
So that'll be on YouTube somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Nice.
Yeah, possibly. There was some site definitely to stream the audio. They were doing like house and techno and things like that, but unfortunately, I think it was on the second night, or potentially it might have been the first night. The wind picked up massively, and their tent pretty much just collapsed.
Oh shit!
And they had like a pretty nice looking tent. It
looked
looked solid,
up,
yeah, but unfortunately, whoever put it up, I don't know, maybe missed something or something for it to fall, because I mean it was windy, but it wasn't that windy, and this wasn't it wasn't a huge tent, but it was like, do you know, it was good length. It was like, I don't know, 15 meters, 10 meters by 8 meters or something wide by. So it was like, you know, pretty spacey, but it wasn't like some big top type.
No, not like
thing.
a circus tent.
And it certainly wasn't like a little army tent or anything like that. It was well secure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that just went. So yeah, that was an interesting event. But yeah, let's not talk about that. The other events. What I'm trying to think of.
Oh, yeah, did you say another festival?
Yeah, it was for. We did it for. It was an under 18s event.
Oh yeah.
And it was under the name Block Rock, and we were basically doing. It wasn't just music; it was art, graffiti, street dance, skating, DJing. There was like little workshops as well that went along inside it. It was an indoor event at the Winter Gardens, and we had obviously DJs and things like that on, and we had MCs. We had like Mike Righteous on performing. We had drum sound and bassline Smith on, Fleur East on. You know, and obviously some local DJs and things like that.
But you got some big acts down to Blackpool, really?
Yeah, over the years, definitely brought some good heads up from the south.
Yeah. And did you usually get a good turnout for them?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were really good. Obviously, certain ones, you know, you can never always fully know with Blackpool whether you're going to get the fully.
Sometimes it's just the night. Yeah.
Sometimes you might be right into some head and you think, yes, this is going to bang, and then people just don't turn up because they don't know the name on the flyer. But we were fortunate enough to pick like some good acts that were within our scene and stuff like.
And you had a fucking good time, didn't you?
Mate, all of them, all of that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the idea, to get good acts with locals and give everybody like a nice platform to play with a good act on top of that as well. Yeah, so you get good audiences in.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's one of the major things, isn't it, for making.
I mean, it wasn't all about like businessly, like it was more about like the party and the vibe, and just because if you didn't put on the party, there usually wasn't a night to go to. Yeah. That was the dilemma.
Yeah, it was someone else's kind of night.
Because obviously with everybody likes different things. Obviously there was nights, was like the techno nights and house nights and things like that. But if you wanted to hear like dubstep or something, then there wasn't really anybody else doing anything like that.
Yeah, man, shit. I remember playing at one of the junk boxes, and I think it was my first set ever, and I was like, oh, my set's gonna go like from chill, and then it's gonna go up a bit, and then you know it's gonna get pretty heavy by the end probably. And then I was like 3 songs in, so people were dancing. I was in my chill bit, and I was like, oh, this is nice, and these beats are nice. And then I was like, oh, it's not gonna be chill for much longer. I thought I had more chill beats than this, but I've mixed them all quite quickly between each other, and the rest of the songs I've got left are pretty banging. And then first banging song came on. Dance floor just empty. Off they went. Carried on though. I remember you and Relic were having a little dance on the side. But,
Oh mate, always vibes in.
it was a fun night. But yeah, I've mellowed out loads now. I wouldn't have done that. I played that kind of music because nobody likes that kind of music.
Yeah, mate, through those sound systems as well.
Yeah.
Just remember, just set you up alongside it, didn't we?
Yeah.
on the stage.
Yeah. So you've had Junkbox, but nowadays you're on the Demloxx.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That.
Junkbox was obviously a night name thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Demloxx is a current production name, definitely.
And you're moving ahead with that.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I've got other things popping, like other names and things like that. Obviously, still got all the Beach Club productions and still out there.
And a really nice body of work, to be fair, like a pretty solid, consistent body of work.
There was a lot of styles made
under
Beach Club, but that was cool though, because I was into like all kinds of stuff, so it was nice to always just put stuff out.
Yeah,
you know, you weren't never restricted to one sound, which was cool. But I've kind of channeled my sounds a lot more recently, definitely over the last few years.
Pared it back a little bit, found out.
Yeah, found more like, because even though I was into all that massively, I was like, but I don't want to play this in the dance. Like, I want to play.
Yeah. Something a bit smooth.
Yeah, but I didn't have like lots of that sort of content to do that. But now I've, doing quite a lot of stuff now recently, especially with Nax One.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up Nax One. So doing lots of productions with him, which is sick. Lots of content.
Couple of EPs out.
Yeah, we've got a couple of EPs out, a few singles.
Yeah.
We've got quite a bit in the archives yet to come out.
Yeah.
We were going through them the other day, and just like about 20 tunes that we've just smashed out over the last like several months. Just like, wow, we need to get these out. Like, we're just like always on it.
So what did you do with the EPs that you've already put out versus process like getting them out there compared to what do you think you'll do for this other material?
We used to just sort of put it out, do it, and just get out and get the next thing on.
Yeah.
Whereas now, definitely more reserved and just like, even though we're sat on a lot of stuff, we do have some plans for things.
Yeah.
And definitely some small bodies of work, like some 2 tracks and 3 tracks, because we've got so much material as well.
Yeah. So you just pick a few of those that.
Yeah, and also it's timing. It's when to put it out, and also because we wrote a lot of beats, like ideally we'd like a lot of vocalists as well. And we don't, we're quite picky on who we want on, just because of our sound and the stuff we make. Like,
you've got to be.
You could be like, yeah, he would sound sick on this, but he necessarily might not have the right flows or whatever, but he could still jam over it or whatever and shell some bars or something.
It still sounds sick, but it's not necessarily what you've got in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas now we're like looking and thinking, right, okay. But obviously certain people, there's ways to approach them and stuff like that. People we don't know, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we vibe off them and we've been into them for years, but they don't know us, do you know what I mean? So it's like...
So what, do you just reach out?
Well, usually, I mean, it depends who they are, but I mean, ideally directly, always like to just reach out to them just on a level, because we're not running through no management or anything like that. I mean, if they've got a manager, I'll gladly help the manager.
If they say speak to a manager.
I mean, often I'll look into that before I'm going to hit them up. I won't just hit them up and then realise I've got to hit their manager up. I'll make sure that I find their agent or whatever and go to them. But usually, all the time at the minute, it's just been direct. But I mean, there has been instances like times in the past where we've done other things.
Yeah, so obviously there was loads of DJing going on, but you got into production, obviously, at some point during that. Was it DJing first?
The DJing did come first, but the production was very soon after
Was that by noticing how, because DJing is kind of like production, isn't it? It's like live production between
Yeah, essentially. I mean, like
channel fades.
there's a lot in when you're starting out. There's a lot to learn within DJing. There's a lot to learn within production.
And they're both transferable, aren't they?
Yeah,
Those
I
two?
mean, and it definitely helped doing them both because you understood more about the music that you were into and playing. You know, you started learning more about structures and different things like that in early days.
Yeah, so that makes it easier. Like when you're starting to produce and you're looking at drum patterns and stuff and the way stuff might be structured, whether it's 16s.
In this day and age as well, it's even because obviously there's a lot of visual stuff these days. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of audio visually and things like that, which is back in the day you kind of didn't, unless you were then moving it into a DAW or something like that. You know, whether you were doing something, you were like, right, okay, within Ableton or whatever, and you could actually see your audio, and you were like, but now obviously now you're seeing it on your screens, on your CD players and things like that, on your CDJs and stuff. It's all, or if you've got your laptops hooked up with Traktor, you're seeing it all visually. So I mean, that obviously helps you within the production side, starting to learn about the audio side, and I mean, obviously there's so much to learn, but visually seeing what things look like and then what they look like when you start chopping them up and things like that, and then what it's sounding like, and learning like what kicks and hi-hats from the sounds, and visually seeing them on, you know, if you dragged in a track into your DAW and you were going to start doing a bootleg or a remix of it, you'd see the audio there. When you start delving in, you can sort of see right there, that's the hi-hat rhythm, and there's obviously it's all layered up in you, however you're going to manipulate the sounds in there and chop them up. You can visually see stuff which helps, because you know, obviously then you're visually seeing stuff when you're mixing in your head and hearing and stuff like you're almost seeing the beats that you're playing and hearing it, and it's just becoming within you, do you know?
Yeah, you're seeing the points, like the hit points, the impact points and stuff like that, and working out different spots you can put those in.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at a lot of different genres, you can apply all those things across. You can be like, oh, you can put a snare there, can you? I didn't know you could put a snare on the 4.5.
Yeah, totally. You can obviously then, that's just discovering a new patterns and things like that, and visually seeing. But I mean, going back to the original point, like I started them both at the same time, DJing and production, and obviously just learnt them throughout the years. Self-taught for a large percentage of it.
So what did you start on? Is it Fruity
My
Loop?
first DAW was Ableton.
Oh right, nice.
I can't remember what version it was, like 3 or something.
Shit, long time.
I was sort of, because I didn't go to any school, or I was totally, you know, this was all new things to me. Seeing everything, it was mad seeing all these new words, compressions, and saturators and reverbs and flanges and all these alien stuff to you when you first jump into it.
Loads of technical aspects to it.
But luckily, YouTube was a go-to thing, because I didn't really, when I first started, know anybody else that was into what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I had, you know, just heard various things, and that sort of, when I first started, was like, I was into like, these sort of songs and these sort of genres and things like that. But none of my friends were into it, so I could never really bounce things back and forth off them. They were always into something else, you know.
Yeah, so getting into the DJ scene kind of helped you meet people.
YouTube really helped me.
And YouTube,
because there was loads of seminars to watch and all sorts of things really, but mostly people in their rooms or whatever talking about, this is how and making a breaks tune or whatever, and obviously that journey then began through like learning through lots of videos and things like that on different styles, and over the years you kind of don't, you know, you're just not even going to that anymore because it's you know your way around your DAW, you know you think what you're doing basically. You're getting more experienced in your field, you know, and you're getting whatever
and your workful improves, doesn't it? Like your ability
totally.
to get the idea out of your head and into the machine.
Every time I sit down, it's like, obviously it's a big learning curve, but I'm just there to have fun, you know. That's what I love doing. Just enjoy expressing yourself through sounds, you know. It's cool.
I think
to do
everyone
that
needs something
do
like
that with other people as well. It's a great thing to bounce things back and forth with other producers and like-minded people, you know. Even people that don't produce, but people that have got ideas. Like friends often, you know, come and sit in the studio and stuff, and sometimes like I had some sort of maybe you should put this here. I've just kind of heard it like in my head, you know, like I almost imagined it, and then you lay it in and it's like, whoa, nice one, big up, like but that would have never happened if they weren't there. So
no, different perspective, isn't it? Different perspective from someone who's not like tuned into the technical aspects or anything. Just a little random idea.
Yeah, it's all about having fun, but obviously if you're like me and you love doing it all the time, obviously you want to make time for that, and you want to obviously make it financially viable, so you do actually have to take certain things seriously if you want to get some more gear in the studio and, you know, like add to your sound or whatever, or
and hopefully make a bit of a living, you know.
Well, from it, and to keep being able to do what you love is the main thing, you know.
Tricky, you know, not the easiest thing in the world to get out there and do.
Yeah, totally.
You know? But I mean, you've got to just go out and do it and try.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you want to go in that direction, I mean, not everybody wants to perform their music as such. They're just happy to get it out there, and that's, do you know. But I love performing what I've done, or taking what other people have made, other producers, and playing various tracks by other heads and mixing them in certain ways and things like that to make it original and whatever. But the whole game is I love performing and doing that kind of side of things. So
it is a buzz and it is a vibe.
It's nice to be able to take your art and just like show people it, essentially, in a large place or a small place. Definitely. It's just, even if it's 5 people vibing, but if they're vibing off what you've made or doing in front of them, it's a great feeling. That's why we do it, you know. And obviously it's great if that pays the bills.
It'd be alright. But yeah, it's definitely my preferred side of the stage, I think. I like being in the crowd at something, but I don't know, you get, like, there's an energy feedback kind of from a crowd, I think. Like from days playing in the band, like there is like you put a bunch of energy out there, and if there's a bunch of people receiving it, you know, there's that transfer going on of energy, and there's a weird feeling you get. And people talk about like flow state in sports, but you'll know when you're DJing, you can be in flow state for, like, you can just lose time. I imagine just go, oh shit, I've done half an hour, I'd forgotten.
Totally. I mean,
just in the zone.
In certain performances, like, you almost go into autopilot.
Yeah, you're kind of more of a passenger.
You're like so in tune with what's going on that you are aware, obviously, what's going on, but you are on another level.
Yeah, you're doing it fluid, aren't you? You're not thinking.
It's it's pure natural, do you know, natural rhythm and stuff.
And the occasional really good idea pops in. It's
man,
cool.
But that's all being in it, you know. You get those. Well, for me personally, like if I'm playing and you're in the zone, you hear and feel all them tricks and techniques to make that set that bit more edgy, or you know,
you read
and a bit more fun as well, but maybe a bit more unexpected as well.
Let's talk about the fun stuff, the real, because performing, like, you can get the same sensation when you're making as well.
Yeah, totally.
For sure, even just one person.
100%.
On your own, that flow state. But I think it's really important for humans to have access to that in some form, because it's
Well,
kind of
yeah,
like
it's
a
nice.
meditation.
It's nice to share that energy and that
Yeah.
vibration with other people. You
And
know,
yeah, that's the crowd. That's like the energy transfer that I'm talking about. Like that is it. They're also, like, you'll know from dancing, like, and it's a really tribal thing. You know, it's ancient.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
we've been getting fucked up and dancing since we've been around. You know what I
We
mean?
have, man. Yeah, totally.
Like Stonehenge was just for once a year at the solstice. Everyone would go to Stonehenge. Like, a lot of people in England would make a pilgrimage to Stonehenge and get fucked up and have a party for the solstice and then go back. Like, there'd be a lot of agricultural trade as well, and there'd be like a lot of trade going on. It'd be like a big trade meeting, but it basically was a festival site,
Yeah.
from my understanding, which is quite limited. But it's mad, like, that tradition of like music. Like, they found stone drums that are mental, that are like cut at angles so you can get different tones out of.
Yeah,
one
totally.
note.
Yeah.
Properly mental stuff. It just goes back forever. It's like an ancient tradition that you're still doing. Just in a
Yeah, I
modern
mean,
way.
even just go across the sea, go to places like Africa, go to like the
Yeah.
original places
Yeah.
on the other side, like
Everywhere music. It's
yeah,
the
man.
universal.
Totally.
And performance comes with that. You know, you can't have one without the other, really.
Mm.
Well, you can, but nobody will know about it. Everyone will be like, "What are you doing in that shed?" Can't tell you. It's the secret of the Musicians Guild. What's a musician? Shit, man, it'd be a sad world. Can you imagine?
Oh man.
Oh man, powers that be just shut it down. You're only allowed sanctioned music. It's all just like 40s, easy going. I mean, it'd be alright, it'd be a vibe, but
Man,
I don't know.
hilarious. 6:30 in the morning banter.
It's good shit, man. It's all good.
Mm.
I'm making some beats recently where I was trying to do the house thing and do it at. I've done 76 BPM.
That's some slow house.
76 BPM.
Or unless it was
4
double
before.
timed, then yeah.
Nah, man. It's like
Slow.
4 on the floor at 76.
Wow.
So it's like 140 4 on the
Okay.
floor, kind of. It's pretty. No, 140 half time. 4
Right.
on the floor, so like dubstep, but just boom, ksh, boom. Well, that was dubstep for quite a long time, wasn't it? Or at least the more commercial aspects of it. Boom, ksh. That was all it wanted. That little double kick roll before the snare. It's vicious though, that kick roll. You know.
Yeah, man. Now.
Little roll just before the snare, and now just a bit of gap, so everyone go ah.
It's all about the space, making space.
Yeah, man. For people to vibe in, that's
Yeah,
what it
man.
is, man. Yeah. People to move in, because everyone can do like a dance to the beat, but like that little bit in between is where your little
Yeah, man. It's all the
peacock
half-time
thing comes
rhythm.
out. Yeah.
Again,
That
like
shoulder work and
originals of dub and things like that.
that.
You know.
You look at dub goes back so far as well.
Yeah, and
you know.
obviously, well, you've got the dub and the reggae
Roots,
side of things.
yeah.
You've also got the two-step side of
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah, the ska coming in.
mm,
Yeah, like the crossover with punk was pretty cool. I enjoyed a lot of that. It was weird though, like two really opposing, not ideals, I suppose. Really, reggae and punk are quite similar in like their ideals, but very different in sound.
yeah.
But coming together like bands like the Clash and stuff, making more reggae influenced tunes and stuff.
Yeah,
just
man,
brought a
the whole
new-
scarf thing. Like,
Yeah, the whole scene was really crazy. Really weird crossover that really.
Yeah, man, and that's just down to the all the reggae movement and that, and then bringing it across
bring it to
here and things
London.
like that. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's where obviously you get a lot of your electronic music. It all stems all back from
Yeah,
that,
from
and all the dub sounds and all the
Yeah,
parties and
yeah.
dance raves, you know, with the turntable and the microphone. You get all the MC aspects of it, like originally, and a lot of stuff really like comes back from that culture and
Dub.
stuff like that. A lot of
That
people
root
don't know that
sound.
as well, like
Yeah.
where things like dubstep and stuff have come from. All sounds of dubstep, you know, even all the Yagi
Yeah.
stuff, like the backbones of it, like stemmed back from.
Yeah. It's half time, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you say, like
back
before
down to
that,
Jamaica and things. It's
there wasn't any half time before reggae, was there? I don't think really. or before, that kind of, I suppose blues.
Maybe there was probably some tribal stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely well before.
Oh, with some dirty breakdowns, I bet. But they'll be going mental and someone just go, hey! It'd be so weird to see. Did you see that thing about Sentinel Island in India, that missionary?
No, I don't believe.
There's this island off the coast of India called Sentinel Island.
Right.
And the people that live there, it's illegal to go and see them.
Yes, actually, yeah.
And they'll shoot you down if you go and see them.
Yes.
Some Christian missionary went there to try it because God told him to.
Oh dear.
He's dead.
Well, that wasn't surprising, was it? I mean,
no, you don't
leave
fuck
them
with
be,
them.
leave them to their culture. People are trying to change and bring them to the,
Yeah, bring them to Jesus. I mean, come on. They've been there
well,
for thousands of years.
That's another ball game. But just in general, trying to make them civilized, just let them live how they are doing. That's what they're happy doing. Do you know, if they really, really wanted to, I'm sure they would venture out and accept people coming in, but they don't. They want to live their way because essentially we're destroying everything around them. Why are they going to let some white man or whatever come in and go,
some weird
take
guy.
my home and plow it down and don't know, do some palm oil or stick some cattle on it. So.
I reckon there's like two possibilities. There's either somebody went there once and fucked him right over, and they've since had that legend.
I think they've had many visitors over the years. Well, not but I would say a percentage of definitely not had a good experience.
And then they've just done a zero tolerance policy, or they're guarding some mad treasure. There's some mad.
But also, you've got to imagine, like, you got to think of tribes in like Papua New Guinea and stuff like that. You got to think of like some of them, the way they are like culturally brought up and what's passed down to them. It's like some crazy, like proper old school stuff, like cannibalism and things like that. And and you don't know if these tribes believe certain things, and and if they do, then that's their thing. But leave them to do their thing where they can only just do it, do and influence themselves. Like,
especially if
they're not harming anybody else at the island. No. That's their land.
You probably do more harm than good. Even if you went in with the best intentions, like, they're getting the flu or something. It's like, well, don't go near them because you'll give them more flu.
Well, the thing is lots of them don't get these diseases. These are things that we create and make and all that and pass around. They aren't getting half of them because they're not engaging with, the
general population.
Exactly. They're fully like away from all of that.
So they build up no immunity.
And the thing is, they're not eating crazy cancerous foods and spraying themselves with heavy metals and inhaling all sorts of toxins.
Unless someone's burned down their bit of forest and they're doing it there next to it.
But a lot of their way in life is just purely natural, and the air they breathe and everything like it's not polluted and things like that. Just to a degree, but I mean, it's not as bad as like a city centre or something like that. The air you breathe there. Like.
And there's still quite a lot of like uncontacted tribes in the Amazon and stuff. There are these places.
Yeah, and.
But the Sentinelese will just kill you straight up. Somebody once went with 2 buckets and they gave them a green bucket and a red bucket and left it on the sand. And the green bucket they kept the green bucket they kept and used, and the red bucket they buried and put a marker over it. Because they're mental. I don't know. Maybe they've got some real old legends or something.
Well, the thing is it's not because they're mental as such. It's more the fact that you're taking a man-made plastic product to an area where they don't see that stuff. They ain't got factories. They don't buy things. They're wearing nature on their backs, and they've got spears and things like that. They don't see what plastic and technology and things like that. Even stuff like something as basic as a match. That's magic to some of these people. They're completely stick, sand, rub 2 bits of wood together, all that jazz.
You take
bow
them,
flames.
show them a lighter, and you're surprised they stab you up. Like, shit, he's got fire.
No, they totally it would blow their minds, and that's what people don't understand. Like, they've the total caveman mentality, or well, not as prehistoric as caveman, but like they are
No,
very
they've got language.
old. Yeah,
They've got an unknown language. It's very sophisticated.
They're very original in a lot of their methods.
I think they are indigenous as far back as you know that goes. They've been there a long time. Really old, very old culture.
And that's what they know, and that's what they live and breathe. And everything outside these islands and these rainforests, they don't venture.
Do you reckon they think it's the devil out there or something?
Well, the thing is, even when they see planes flying across and things like that, they must think all sorts of madness, because they don't have media and stuff to educate them on what these things are. They just are like, what is that? In their own language, like what?
Some giant bird.
For example,
maybe.
Some of them haven't seen other people from other races and cultures, so if they've never seen a white man before, they're gonna think that's some sort of ghost from God or some,
I saw
or some
it on a
spiritual.
show one time. There was a guy.
They would not know what's going on. Do you know?
And he was coming up and like trying to touch his face, but he was like scared of him. He was like trying to touch him.
I've seen stuff like that before, like film crews going in and filming them, and like they just totally, and just showing them things, even stuff like salt, and other things like adding salt to food and things like that for flavour. I've seen like some old YouTube documentary videos of some people visiting these tribes and taking things like salt and matches and stuff, and they were blown away like by these refined man-made things, you know.
It's mad. Like take a beatboxer, you know. Take something mentally cool.
But even stuff like the cameras, what they were taking across is just like a mad alien thing, like some attachment on his body. Like, what is that?
And then if it's got a little thingy on it, you can be like, oh look, here's a moment ago.
Well, the other thing is as well is like they haven't seen a fully clear image of themselves
ever.
They may have seen like reflection in water or something, but it's not like some HD cam what you've got these days where it's like.
I mean, if you get a really nice still night and you're near a lake that's nicely moonlit, get quite a nice little look. Possibly. But it's not a mirror. Don't get me wrong. But you know that silvery. Don't know where that's come from really.
There's loads of tribes out there that aren't like as civilized and things and as advanced as other areas of the world, but there are lots of other tribes that have, learned as populations have grown, borders, lands have touched, there's crossovers, trades, all different things like that. So
exploration as well, just that basic human, what's over there. You know, what else do you do, I suppose? And if you're following animal populations for hunting, then obviously, you're going to end up following them to wherever they go. And maybe that's the origin of it. Maybe, I don't know. But I think there is also a desire just to know what's over there that I can't see. Like, if I know I came from over there, and this is new, so there must be something else different over there. Unless you're in a nice little jungle. You can make yourself a little wood house in a jungle or something.
I mean, there's even people that have the technology to see what's over there, but still believe in things like flat Earth and all these other crazy things. Like,
I'm sure that revival started out as a joke, didn't it? And now some people
some crazy meme or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was a joke.
Some donut clicked on and was like, well, maybe, just maybe, like that sounds possible.
And there's some people put a lot of work into making that.
Yeah,
making that true. And there's the ice wall, isn't there? All the way around it. That's why you can't get around the edge or something.
I know.
Ice wall.
There is some stuff that just defies like science and logic and
it's just human. I'd be more inclined to believe in the hollow earth than the flat earth.
But I guess at the end of the day, within their day and life, if they want to believe that, let them believe that. It's not going to harm you.
No.
It's just madness. like for people like myself to even believe something like that because of my own values and beliefs and things like that. But I mean, wow, some people believe some interesting things.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying everything I believe must be, correct, because you never know. You never know. But there's some interesting views out there.
There certainly are. But it's good, I think, for stuff like Flat Earth, because it's easy to be tempted to respond like what are you on about? You know what I mean? Like, that's an easy human thing to fall into.
Yeah.
But that only feeds it. People like on Facebook just going on about, how can you believe the Earth's flat? It's just another comment.
Yeah.
It's just more comments on that thing.
It's more stuff just driving.
More attention, yeah.
It's one of them.
You end up populating the algorithm with things you don't want instead of things you want.
But then again, if you sign up to these sites and stuff like that, you have to expect, and you have to appreciate that everybody's there to show their own opinion, whether you're your friend or not. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird modern
it's
public
their
diary.
space. You choose to share it with them. Maybe lots of things you will agree on, but anything you don't agree on, it shouldn't be jumped upon. Lots of people troll and torment people and almost think people are better than people. Even if they make a spelling mistake, somebody's always like, can you not spell? I've been... So what if they made a spelling mistake? Or so what if they can't spell? Everybody's brought up differently, do you know what I mean? Like, don't judge a man because of his comment or whatever. Don't engage. Do you know what I mean? Let them say what they want to say or their piece. And if it's relative or constructive or positive or whatever, then engage with them or whatever. But it's a lot of
tricky one.
Negative hype.
Yeah, I find myself engaging in it, and it is silly.
Yeah, because lots of people think, well, I don't know them. Like, say it's a YouTube video or whatever, and they don't particularly like the video for whatever reason, but there's bare people that do enjoy it and look at it or whatever. They'll still jump in and say, yeah, this is a load of shit.
Yeah. Comment.
So yeah, that might not be to your taste, but does that really need sharing? Just let them people enjoy it that do like that thing, whatever it is, do you know?
Because what they're doing is trying to put people off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like someone will be listening and check the comment and go, oh, maybe not. Like, what's the goal?
Add from music to tribes to Facebook commenting.
But no, man, it was. I like the tribe vibe. Like, it was important back in the day. Like things like I was saying, like about Stonehenge and stuff, like the role of the musician was really important. I think it was the Greeks referred to it as the highest form of art, because it has a more direct element of universal language. Like art has universal language. We can all, like paintings, we can all look at them, but we can't necessarily discuss them with someone of another language. But music, everyone just has a response to, like a dance, and that's universal. It is really the one language. Maybe that's what we should be sending to the aliens.